into the church!
You as well, Keturah.
Not yet!
He'll not make it through the fighting.
Get inside!
There's a rider crossing the bridge.
Seamus! The regiment from Tinicum, it's attacking again!
There's already a dozen killed and many more times that number that have been wounded.
Come into the church with the others. You'll be safe and... Seamus!
Keturah, there's nothing you can do here.
Come inside before the same happens to you.
No!
He's one more name for the Warners to call out this night.
Later we'll hand out the notices wrapped around death cakes as big as platters. And wine, jugs of wine.
We'll give him a proper burying as soon as it is safe.
Ring the bells! The devils that did this must be found!
We know who betrayed him.
The British soldiers spoke of hearing about the attack from an Crane.
You must be his warners. Tell all the nearby villages.
But the fighting hasn't stopped.
We'll be announcing our deaths as well.
Ride away from Tinicum and circle back.
But Keturah...
Be reasonable.
You must. Vengeance on the family of Crane must be had.
Agreed.
For Seamus.
And his family.
Vengeance. Hear ye, to all.
That may know our voices.
Seamus McGee was taken from us.
By the traitors from Tinicum.
To those that killed him upon this night, it may take all my strength and might. Seamus lays, his killers will be. The blood of Crane will spill from thee.
How much farther, Charles?
Oh, we're close now.
You said that an hour ago.
Well, if you're bored, turn on the radio.
The big news in Tinicum is tomorrow's reopening of the Darkwood Gallery on Evernight Road. Greta Vanti, longtime owner, has returned after years of traveling.
And that's our contact.
The gallery is home to the Van Tassel collection of American Revolution paintings, valued at more than $1 billion.
That's my favorite kind of art.
Vanti has not said which of the collection's 100 paintings will be on display.
100 paintings.
That's an average of 10 million per painting.
We'll sell one a year for the rest of our lives and never run out of paintings or money.
However, there is speculation that one of the paintings will be local legend Seamus McGee. It was this night in 1776 that McGee was killed during the War for Independence. The legend of the Terror of Tinicum holds that McGee rides this night every year looking for his head. In other news...
Turn it off.
The Terror of Tinicum.
Looking for his head, double, huh?
Tonight we'll prove the story's a fraud.
And claim the Van Tassel fortune.
Yes.
Here's Evernight Lane, and there's Darkwood Gallery.
Well, they must hide their wealth.
I don't care if it's buried under the Delaware River. It's leaving with us. Why don't you take the honors, brother?
With pleasure.
Miss Vanti?
Yes?
We called earlier.
Nobody called me.
We're Anne-Marie and Charles.
Ah, yes, Mr. and Mrs. Hudson.
Brother and sister, not husband and wife. We are descendants of the family of Ichabod Crane.
The Crane family name goes back hundreds of years. I'm positive there were other voices.
No one else.
Good. Why are you here?
To prove Ichabod was murdered
And as descendants of the family of Crane, claim the Van Tassel fortune.
The gallery is closed and the hour is late.
The Van Tassel paintings from the American Revolution belong to my sister and me.
We've traveled a long way just to get here.
Come back tomorrow and buy tickets to the exhibition.
We already have tickets. Show her, Charles.
Admission for 2, if you don't mind.
I see. Come in. We don't get... You must have heard that.
Nothing.
You're sure?
Positive.
Like I was saying, we don't get many visitors to the gallery anymore.
No one else is here?
Not a soul.
What are you waiting for?
Giving you a chance to change your mind.
You better not be warning anyone.
There's not a living being down here.
Then go inside.
Come on in.
It's freezing in here.
Can't you turn up the heat?
The cold preserves what is down here. Those pictures, for example.
Those aren't the private collection.
Can you see I'm trying...
What?
Nothing.
Annie, she's positively crackers.
As nutty as an acorn.
What?
It's not too warm down here.
We want to see the...
If you can, go ahead.
Miss Vanty, enough of your games. Take us to...
The endings.
Nobody's asked for the endings in more than 200 years.
We'd like to see our property.
Those on the wall are better.
That's our car in front of the gallery in the picture.
If that was our car, the paint would still be...
Wet, and it is. Clever, Miss Vanty, but I'm losing my patience.
Charles, you shouldn't talk to a lady like that.
Thank you.
Let me. If you don't take me to the endings, you'll meet your own.
I can't help you.
What's behind that door?
Nothing.
Open it.
Nothing's in there but these pictures.
Get out of the way or you and a bullet will open the door. Go ahead, Charles.
Come out, whoever you are.
You don't want to go in there.
Be quiet.
It's dark in here.
There must be a light.
Got it. Whoa!
Stop! Stop!
It was hideous with red eyes and sharp teeth. The thing bit me in the arm, but I got a few shots into it.
What are you keeping down here?
Nothing like that.
Drag it out here while I take care of Charles.
If you insist.
It was horrible, Annie. It slashed its teeth into my arm.
It's okay now. Don't worry.
I can see the bone and it hurts so bad.
We'll find a doctor. Who's that?
My cousin, KT. She doesn't say much, but likes to wheel herself around the gallery and hide. She does it for hours.
Wherever she wants.
KT can take care of herself.
This was her final game of hide and seek. I put 3 shots through her heart.
She seems fine.
Annie, I couldn't have missed. I fired from point-blank range.
And I heard the shots.
And it looks like your arm's okay, too.
Let me see that.
Not a scratch. Doesn't hurt either.
And I found these. Everything's okay with them, I hope.
Your guns.
And the chambers are full, like it was never shot.
You'll probably want to rest after such an exciting evening.
Let's get out of here, Annie. This isn't making sense.
We didn't break our backs for the last 10 years to make a case for the Van Tassel fortune and leave with nothing.
We didn't know the treasure was guarded by a psycho.
Miss Vanty, for the last time, take us to the endings.
You're already there. You're surrounded by them.
And that explains the cold temperature.
Like keeping a fortune on ice.
They aren't for sale.
We aren't buying.
Good, because
We're
for a moment-
taking.
Do you have any idea what they're worth?
3 years ago, 5 paintings from the same era but of lesser artists sold for more than $50 million.
You've got 20 times the number of paintings at a much higher level of quality. The math is simple. 20 times 50 million is...
At least $1 billion.
That's the monetary
There
value.
is no other value.
These paintings captured the changing sentiments in the colonies, both patriots and loyalists.
Charles, start taking the pictures off the walls.
That's King George III. The New England loyalists were all the rage to paint his portrait.
Why the halo?
Well, King George let it be known he spent most of his days in prayer, seeking guidance on how to best serve heaven and country. Croxley and Smart and Amherst portrayed him as a saint. Dorning of New Hampshire gave him wings.
All the while, pious King George was sending more troops into the colonies to quell the rebellion.
Exactly.
This is not the time, Charles, for a refresher class on...
Other loyalists portrayed George as a savior, pulling the colonies back to Mother England.
And end the war.
And that's how the paintings came to be known as the endings. They were the artist's view of balance and glory restored to the land.
A little help here, please.
As the war dragged on, Croxley, Smart, Dorning, and the other loyalists slowed or stopped altogether.
There's no light colors at all in these paintings.
The patriot artists painted their own endings.
Didn't the southern colonies show rolling fields with crops free from the plague of King George?
Yes.
And the middle colonies produced mostly war scenes.
Many battles were still being waged.
Charles, don't give her stories any credibility.
It's history.
They're folk tales.
Someone else said that, and the consequences were not pleasant.
What are you talking about?
There's a picture in the collection you and your sister have come for, a picture that vindicates a family member and restores his good name.
The Terror of Tinicum.
That's what it's known as. The original title, The Murder of Seamus McGee, is on the wall.
It's covered.
It's been covered for hundreds of years.
Put it in the car, Charles.
Maybe we should think about this one, Annie.
It confirms what happened to Ichabod.
It does do that.
I don't like this.
You'll like it when the millions of dollars start rolling in. Let's take a look.
You should know what happened when this was painted.
I don't care about
If you
history.
ignore the past,
$1 billion will take care of any problems from the past.
We know Ichabod was courting Katrina Van Tassel, the sister of old Boltus,
And receiving threats from Bron Van Brunt, who was also seeking Katrina's hand.
and the Van Tassel fortune. But Katrina was fond of Ichabod's book smarts, which included reading about ghost stories from around the world.
But old Boltus wanted Brom to win his sister's hand. At the annual harvest celebration in 1790, Van Tassel ended the party by telling the legend of the Terror of Tinicum.
And Ichabod sat, listened, and said the terror was a fine folk tale.
That's when Van Tassel exploded.
A fine folktale? You can't be serious, Teacher Crane. The Terror of Tinicum began riding along the river in 1776.
And in only the second year, George Washington.
All praise to St. George,
And all praise to heaven above for sending us St. George.
Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army and father of our country. What were you saying about the terror?
He's been patrolling the river since the second year of our war for independence.
He's protected us against that cowardly regiment that rode in from Tinicum
And killed 36 villagers. Murdered, more correctly.
perhaps, Teacher Crane, your presence is no longer appropriate in this house.
I quite agree with Baltus. Quite agree. And please accept a further hope
That the sword of the Terror of Tinicum does not take out its displeasure on your neck.
Before Ichabod left, he noticed Brom Van Brunt was gone. That night, Ichabod disappeared.
And the next day, everyone speculated on his whereabouts. Rumors spread of his comments about the Terror of Tinicum, and gossip ran wild about the consequences.
But
Privately, the villagers assumed Brom Van Brunt disguised himself as the Headless Horseman, killed Ichabod, and hid the body.
Which left Brom free and clear to marry Katrina and enjoy the Van Tassel fortune.
Which he did on both counts.
you've done your homework,
Took us every spare moment for 10 years.
but every fourth grader knows that story.
And then every fourth grader knows the Terror of Tinicum is a fraud.
And the paintings belong to us.
But there's an eyewitness account of the evening. Details are added and gaps are filled.
Encoded in some ancient family heirloom, waiting to be unlocked.
The witness is still alive.
Impossible. That was over 200 years ago.
224 to be exact. I'm the witness. I'm the widow of Baltus Van Tassel.
You're crazier than we thought.
If you're the widow of old Boltus, you were there that night.
Correct.
You can't believe her.
I don't know what to think, but she may know things we don't.
That is a given.
Tell us your version.
It was this very night in 1790, not too far from here.
Katrina, where's Crane?
halfway home, I should think.
Perhaps you might encourage Brom to escort Ichabod the rest of the way and beyond.
Agreed. Brom? Dear sweet Brom. Oh, Brom, where
Look
are
what's
you?
asleep over here. Too many ales, I suspect.
A fine husband he'll make. More interested in the drink than me.
Nonetheless, you'll marry him. No one must suspect you.
I'll be the dutiful wife by day, and
continue searching at night.
do you really think your suspicions are true?
All the information points to I, Crane.
Who'd let a beanpole like Ichabod into a military regiment? The musket would be heavier than him.
I agree, but there were no other men named I, Crane in the area at the time Seamus was killed.
I just don't believe
Seamus?
He's going after Ichabod!
Take the back road to the footbridge over the river. Seamus can't cross water, so you'll have to get Ichabod onto the bridge. Go now.
Seamus! Spilling innocent blood will not change anything!
So the Terror of Tinicum killed Ichabod, and the Van Tassel fortune stayed in the family.
Brom drank some of it, but he couldn't have spent it all if he lived to be 200.
Like you.
Like,
The pictures are ours.
If the terror killed Ichabod, we don't have a claim.
They are ours.
take them all.
That is a given.
But also, take my advice.
You're not in a position to negotiate.
Then do yourselves a favor.
We won't spend it all in one place.
Don't unveil the murder of Seamus McGee.
Why?
It summons his spirit.
You kill me.
It'll be worse than me.
I've had enough of your fine folk tale.
Annie?
Tie her up, Charles.
What are you going to do?
Tie her up.
All right.
You're making a mistake.
Remove the canvas, Charles.
This isn't a good idea.
Go ahead.
If you say so.
I do. That's it. Now the other corner. Lift it up over the top and look what we have. Nothing.
Not entirely nothing.
Oh, it's always the details with you.
2 headstones with the engraving, "Here lies," and another word I can't quite make out.
No Terror Tinicum looking for his head.
He's coming back.
We'll be sure to tell him you said hello.
It won't be that easy.
Taking it off the wall couldn't be easier, right, Charlie? Charles?
It changed.
What changed?
It.
The lighting, the frame?
The picture, the painting.
Where'd those figures come from?
That's the point, Annie. They weren't there before. I can't see their faces.
It was probably painted to show different images when looked at from different angles.
They weren't there before.
Lower the canvas and put it in the front. Load the others in the back.
Pray you make it to the bridge over the river.
Why?
He can't cross water.
Charles, pack the larger pieces first and then the smaller ones. We did it, Charlie!
Yeah.
We have the most important collection of paintings from the American Revolution.
Yeah, important. Did you hear that?
All I hear is $1 billion behind us.
It's a knocking sound. Maybe something's wrong with the engine.
We'll sell a painting and buy you a truck for every day of the week.
It's coming from the painting.
You've been listening to Greta's ghost stories.
Take the canvas off.
Okay, I'll take it off.
Look.
Oh my God, our truck's in the painting, and it's being chased by a horse and rider.
Not chasing us. He's right next to us and swinging his sword. Come on, truck, go faster.
You'll damage the paintings.
Better them than us. We lost him.
Are you sure?
Lift the canvas.
It's back to how it was.
Look close at the tombstone.
It still says "Here Lies," but there are other letters on them. That's an S and an O.
That looks like an N, but the others are blurry.
S-O-N. Here lies S-O-N. I don't get it.
This is great. Broken down at midnight and miles from anywhere.
No worries. I'll call on my cell.
That's not what I want to hear.
Battery's dead. Try yours.
Same as yours, dead as a doornail.
Is the truck still running?
The engine died. Lift up the canvas.
I don't want to.
Lift it up. It's the Terror, and we're in the picture. Come on.
I'm not leaving behind $1 billion.
We have to run.
All right, but I'm bringing the murder of Seamus McGee.
Through the forest. The trees and branches should slow him down.
Charles, I'm stuck.
Let go of the picture.
No!
Take my hand. You're out. Hurry.
There's the bridge.
We made it.
I still have the picture.
Out in the middle where he can't reach us.
Where's your power, horseman? Not so terrifying anymore.
Don't let a little water keep you from all the fun.
Charles, the picture changed again. Each tombstone has an open grave, and there's someone else in the picture.
She looks familiar.
That would be me.
It can't be. You were in a wheelchair.
Only during the day I ride for the Terror at night.
And you're the one that attacked me.
That's right.
You'll never find his head.
He's not looking for his head. That's a fable.
We were right all along.
The Terror rides for revenge against the family of Crane.
Ichabod never served.
He looks for their descendants.
He never married.
A truly perplexing set of circumstances. Who else was in his family?
His mother, father, and a sister named Belle.
We're from her side.
And who did she marry?
Hudson. Lowell Hudson, a farmer near Shoemakersville. They lived to a fine old age.
Far removed from the fighting and sentiments of either side.
And no link to the Terror.
Lowell had a distant relative named Andrew who ran a saloon near Tinicum. Got the American officers drunk to steal their secrets. Then he sold the information to the British.
Still has nothing to do with us.
On this night, the British got a lead from an unnamed barmaid about an ambush. They counterattacked and surprised the Patriots in Tinicum.
Where Seamus McGee was killed, and he's ridden for vengeance ever since.
And that's where I help.
Hey, be careful with that. You could hurt me.
Not hurt. Kill. Not hurt.
Anne Marie! Anne Marie! Anne Marie!
She's dead.
You killed her.
On behalf of my Seamus.
Let me go.
The night Seamus died, his death was announced throughout the villages and hamlets.
Hear ye, to all.
that may know our voices.
Who are they?
Warners. They risked their lives to spread the news.
Seamus was taken from us.
By the traitors from Tinicum.
To those that killed him upon this night, it may take all my strength and might, as Seamus lays. His killers will be. The blood of Crane will spill from thee. Andrew Hudson died before justice reached him, but the Cranes eluded us.
Us?
Greta tracked generations of the Hudsons, but couldn't link them to the Cranes.
We still aren't.
Then you and your sister contacted her, and she started over. She went back and checked birth records and deaths all over again.
And there's still no link.
Until Greta dug deeper. She found out that Lowell Hudson died within a year of marrying Belle Crane.
That's a lie. We were always told they lived into their 70s.
No! He died before he was 25, and the unnamed barmaid in Andrew's saloon showed up a few weeks later. She was the one who brought endless drinks to the Patriots and got them to talk.
I don't believe any of this.
She did, and she used her name before marrying Lowell and sold the Patriots secrets to the British. But her first name wasn't Belle. It was her birth name, Isabel. She was the one that the British called I. Crane.
No, no, no.
You, as your sister before you, with the name of Hudson and the blood of Crane, will pay for what happened to my Seamus.
The Hudsons and Cranes killed Seamus McGee.
Our protector during the War of Revolutionary.
He still rides against the traitorous band.
Who murdered him and took him from this land.
The time has finally come to taste the sword of justice.
Keep the paintings and let me go.
Read!
No.
Read the tombstone in the painting.
Here lies Anne Marie and Charles Hudson. I'm on my knees begging you.
And that should be just the right height.
Please let me.
Today's reopening of the Dark Wood Gallery on Evernight Road in Tinicum has drawn a record crowd. Greta Vanti, longtime owner, is speaking to the crowd.
The Van Tassel collection of American Revolution paintings is an archive to the voices of this country's war for independence.
Which pictures from the endings are on display?
Mostly paintings from the battles in Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
What of the murder of Seamus McGee?
Originally, the gallery was not intending to display the painting, but there was a strong interest to see the piece.
I've heard you were surprised when you unveiled it.
2 new graves were discovered bearing the names of Anne Marie and Charles Hudson. As you know, Andrew was the saloon keeper in Tinicum who betrayed McGee and other patriots the night they were killed. McGee's death was the birth of the Terror of Tinicum.
Thank you, Miss Vanti, for a few moments of your time. In other news, police discovered an abandoned truck idling near the Tinicum Bridge. No identification was in the vehicle, and authorities found 2 fully charged cell phones in the truck. Elsewhere in the area,
Before we sign off for the evening, we do wish to thank all those who have listened in to our version of Life Along the River. I do want to tell everyone how much I enjoy sitting down on the riverbank. It reminds me of when I was young. You see, I grew up way down south in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. On many a lazy summer afternoon, I would park myself near the Shenandoah, or if I was in the vicinity of Harper's Ferry, I would grab a view of the confluence point of the Shenandoah and the Potomac. This, of course, was way before that gang at McDonald's lured the country into a state of supersizing. Back then, all I needed was a 10-ounce bottle of RC Cola and the treat you do not want to miss, a moon pie. Just like that, you had lunch. Of course, if you sat in the green grass and watched the river roll along, you had a side of bliss with your lunch. And if you happened to nod off a piece and dreamed of your favorite place in the whole world, odds are it wasn't more than a stone's throw from where you were sitting at the moment. So now relax, lay back, close your eyes and listen to the music, and remember how nice life can be if all you really needed was an RC Cola and a moon pie. If you know the words, sing along.
Once again, we wish to thank Jethro Kinn and the whole of WDVR for giving us the opportunity to perform on their stage. Tonight, we also need to thank our sound engineer, John Fachet. John is the CEO at Sweet Creek Studios in Ottsville, Pennsylvania. Music performed live for us tonight included Cindy Barber and Paul O'Chadwick, covering the classic Girl from Ipanema, and a very interesting rendition of Dream a Little Dream of Me, right? Also performing live for us tonight was Val Turner and Denise Long, the Bodie Chicas, who serenaded us with their version of Mumford & Sons' hit, I Will Wait, and Ingrid Michaelson's Everybody. We also had the pleasure tonight to work with some of Frenchtown's finest, like John Schmidberger. John's gallery, Schmidberger Fine Arts, is right here on Bridge Street in Frenchtown. Now, if you're a connoisseur more along the lines of culinary arts, or if you're just a bit hungry, you'll find the star of the show, Lisa Miller, at the Bridge Cafe. Lisa and her husband Ken have been proud owners of the Bridge Cafe for over 27 years. Now, for our cast in tonight's show, in no particular order of appearance, but all with an equal gift for the stage are Paul and Chris O'Chadwick, Tish Pierce, Bonnie Berkowitz, our multi-talented Bodie Chicas, Val Turner and Denise Long, and the WDVR voice you all know so well, Jethro Kinn. Last but not least, we give you those involved in writing, directing, or producing, in one form or another, tonight's show, William Spear and Severio Monachino. Okay, I'm finished now. Can I get one of those moon pies Lisa made for us?
Everything will be alright.